April 14th prophecy. Congratulations. Archangel Michael says your miracle begins at midnight. A life-changing event is waiting, and your angels won't let you skip. Chosen one. Pause everything for a moment because what you are about to hear was not scheduled by chance. April 14th is not an ordinary date on the calendar. It is a spiritual appointment written before you were born. Congratulations. Yes, congratulations. Because heaven has officially marked your name for a midnight shift in destiny. This is not hype. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. Archangel Michael is stepping forward with urgency, and his voice carries both authority and protection. He says your miracle does not begin someday. It begins at midnight. When the clock turns and most of the world is asleep, the spiritual realm will be wide awake, moving on your behalf. There is a life-changing event waiting, and your angels will not let you miss it. Something has been building quietly behind the scenes. While you were doubting yourself, while you were wondering if your prayers were heard, while you were fighting silent battles no one else understood, heaven was arranging pieces. Doors were being repositioned. Conversations were being divinely delayed. Certain people were being kept away from you for a reason. You thought it was rejection, but it was protection. Archangel Michael shows a vision of a house, the place you are living in. Not just physical walls, but the atmosphere around you. He says there have been tension in the air, a heaviness. Moments where you felt watched spiritually. Moments where you sensed something was about to shift but couldn't explain it. That feeling was real, because a transition is near. At midnight on April 14th, a spiritual announcement goes out concerning your life. Chains that were invisible will begin to crack. A decision that has been stalled will suddenly gain momentum. News that was delayed will accelerate. And someone connected to your current environment will reveal their true role in your story. This is the life-changing event. It may come as a phone call. It may come as unexpected confirmation. It may come as exposure of hidden truth. Or it may come as sudden peace that replaces long-standing anxiety. But it will be undeniable. Archangel Michael stands as guardian over this transition. His sword represents clarity cutting through confusion. His shield represents protection over your home and your name. He says you have been tested quietly because you are being elevated publicly. You understand what that means. The struggle was preparation. April 14th is activation. For months, maybe even years, you have felt like something was almost happening. Almost breakthrough. Almost fader. Almost restoration. But it never fully arrived. That delay was not denial. It was divine timing calibrating everything so that when your miracle begins, it cannot be reversed. Midnight is symbolic. It represents the end of one chapter and the birth of another. It is the thin line between what was and what will be. And heaven has chosen that thin line to introduce your next season. Archangel Michael says, watch what shifts in your house first. The energy will feel lighter. Sleep patterns may change. You may feel suddenly motivated. You may receive insight you did not have before. Because when spiritual movement begins, physical reality follows. There is also someone around you who hath been playing a subtle role in your stagnation. Not necessarily evil, but misaligned. Their influence has delayed your clarity. And as this midnight moment approaches, their mask begins to slip. You will see truth without filters. Do not fear this exposure. It is part of your miracle. Sometimes the miracle is not money. Sometimes the miracle is not fame. Sometimes the miracle is revelation. And revelation changes everything. Archangel Michael emphasizes that this shift is earned. You did not arrive here randomly. You survived emotional storms. You stayed faithful when quitting seemed easier. You kept believing when evidence was missing. That endurance triggered heaven's response. Midnight is not the start of effort. It is the reward of endurance. There will be a sign. Pay attention to small confirmations, repeating numbers, sudden memories, unexpected messages, or a dream that feels unusually vivid. Your angels communicate in layers. They will make sure you understand that something has officially begun. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. April 14th is a line drawn in the sand between your old limitations and your new authority. Archangel Michael says the miracle begins quietly, but its impact will echo loudly in the weeks that follow. What starts at midnight may look small, but it carries exponential growth, like a seed breaking underground before anyone sees the plant. And here is the most important part. Your angels will not let you skip this moment. Even if you try to distract yourself, even if you doubt it, even if you attempt to ignore the signs, they will nudge you. Because this is ordained. You are stepping into a recalibrated timeline. A timeline where delays dissolve. A timeline where clarity replaces confusion. A timeline where your home becomes a place of peace instead of pressure. Tonight, prepare your heart. Clear your thoughts. Release bitterness. Forgive quietly if you must. Make room internally for what is coming externally. Midnight is closer than you think. And when it strikes, something irreversible begins. Congratulations. Faithful soul, lean in carefully because what unfolds now explains why April 14th had to arrive the way it is arriving. Archangel Michael is not speaking randomly. He is responding to a buildup in your life that reached spiritual saturation. There comes a point when heaven says, enough waiting, enough stretching. It is time. You may have noticed unusual pressure lately. Small arguments, sudden mood shifts, delays that made no sense. It felt like resistance was intensifying right before something important. That is because opposition often senses breakthrough before you do. When light prepares to enter, shadows react. Archangel Michael reveals that midnight marks a transfer. Not just a blessing, but a transfer of authority. For too long, certain situations in your home environment operated without your full spiritual awareness. You tolerated what you should have questioned. You accepted what you should have discerned. But that changes now. At midnight, clarity begins flowing like a current through your atmosphere. You will start seeing patterns that once confused you. Conversations that felt harmless will suddenly make sense. Silence from someone will speak louder than their words ever did. This is not paranoia. This is perception awakening. There is also a decision connected to your finances or career that has been hovering unresolved. You kept wondering if you should move, stay, invest, or withdraw. Archangel Michael says the signal for that decision will arrive shortly after this midnight shift. Pay attention to what feels peaceful rather than what looks impressive. The miracle is not in noise. It is in alignment. Something else must be understood. When heaven says congratulations, it is not celebrating what you see now. It is celebrating what you survived to reach this point. Many would have collapsed under the weight you carried quietly. Many would have compromised their values to escape discomfort. But you stayed anchored. Because of that, your angels have been instructed not to let you drift past this destiny window. You might wake up around midnight unexpectedly. You might feel restless. You might feel an urge to pray or reflect. That stirring is not random. It is invitation. Respond gently. You do not need dramatic rituals. Just awareness. Just openness. And here is where it deepens. Someone who underestimated you is about to witness your elevation. They misread your silence as weakness. They assume your patience meant passivity. But Archangel Michael says your quiet season was construction, not collapse. When your life-changing event unfolds, they will realize they misjudged your trajectory. Do not seek revenge. Elevation is enough. There is also healing tied to this prophecy. Emotional healing. A memory that once triggered pain will suddenly feel lighter. The same situation that once caused anxiety will no longer dominate your thoughts. That internal shift is part of the miracle. Freedom begins inside before it manifests outside. As this message reaches you, understand something powerful. You were guided here intentionally. This is not casual scrolling. This is confirmation aligning with divine timing. If this message resonates, engage with it. Like this video to anchor your agreement with what heaven is declaring. Share it with someone who needs reassurance that their midnight is near. Comment your expectation below because spoken faith activates movement. Subscribe to this channel and become part of a community that stands under divine covering. And if your spirit feels stirred, consider joining the membership to stay connected to ongoing revelations. Your engagement is not just digital interaction. It is spiritual alignment. And now listen closely. Between now and midnight, you may feel tested one last time. A small irritation, an unexpected inconvenience. Do not react impulsively. That final pressure is simply resistance losing its grip. Stay composed. Stay observant. Your miracle does not require panic, it requires posture. Archangel Michael stands at the edge of your transition holding his sword upright, not in aggression, but in authority. He declares that what begins at midnight cannot be reversed by doubt, criticism, or fear. The life-changing event has already been approved. Imagine a door unlocking softly in the spirit realm. No loud sound. No dramatic announcement. Just a click. The click represents access. Access to opportunities that once felt distant. Access to peace that once felt fragile. Access to clarity that once seemed hidden. You are stepping into authorized favor. And as you continue listening, prepare yourself because what unfolds next will explain exactly how this midnight moment begins to manifest in the physical world. You will want to absorb every detail of what is coming. Braveheart, the atmosphere is shifting even as you listen to these words. Midnight is not just a time on a clock. It is a spiritual doorway, and April 14th stands before you like a gate that has finally been unlocked. Archangel Michael speaks with precision now, because what begins at midnight is not random fortune. It is the release of something that has been held back until you were strong enough to carry it. There is a reason the pressure intensified before this prophecy reached you. When a breakthrough is close, distractions multiply. You may have felt unusually tired, unusually irritated, or unusually doubtful. That was not weakness. That was resistance reacting to the expiration of its influence over your life. Archangel Michael declares that expiration date is midnight. As the clock turns, a chain reaction begins. Something that was delayed suddenly accelerates. A conversation that seemed impossible becomes natural. A situation that felt complicated simplifies itself. This is not coincidence. This is orchestration. Heaven has been aligning timelines behind the curtain of your everyday routine. Archangel Michael reveals that the miracle beginning at midnight carries 3 layers. The first layer is exposure. Something hidden will become clear. It may not be dramatic or explosive, but it will be undeniable. Truth will rise to the surface, and confusion will lose its power. You will see someone's true intentions or finally understand why certain doors closed. The second layer is repositioning. After truth is revealed, you will feel guided to adjust something in your life. It may involve your home, your friendships, your work environment, or even your daily habits. Do not resist this adjustment. Repositioning is protection in motion. Archangel Michael stands guard over this shift, ensuring that what leaves your life leaves peacefully, and what enters carries purpose. The third layer is acceleration. Once exposure and repositioning take place, momentum begins. What felt stagnant will move. What felt slow will pick up speed. You may receive news you have been waiting on. You may sense renewed motivation. You may find yourself thinking differently about your future. This is the miracle unfolding step by step. Understand something deeply personal. This prophecy is not for everyone. It is for those who endured quietly. It is for those who prayed without applause. It is for those who felt overlooked but refused to quit. Archangel Michael says you qualified for this midnight transition through endurance, not perfection. There is also healing attached to this moment. A memory that used to trigger regret will suddenly lose its emotional charge. You will feel lighter, as if something invisible has been lifted from your shoulders. That internal release is part of the life-changing event. When your spirit becomes lighter, your path becomes clearer. Pay attention to your dreams around April 14th. Your angels may communicate through symbolism. A door opening, a bright light, water flowing, a staircase rising. These are not random images. They are confirmations that movement has begun. Archangel Michael ensures that you are not left guessing. Signs will follow this shift. You may also notice a subtle change in your home's atmosphere. The air will feel calmer. Conversations will feel less tense. Even your thoughts will seem more organized. This is spiritual authority reclaiming territory that once felt chaotic. Midnight marks the moment your environment begins aligning with your destiny instead of resisting it. If doubt whispers, silence it with remembrance. Remember the obstacles you survived. Remember the nights you stayed strong when quitting felt easier. Remember the prayers you prayed when no one saw. Those moments were seeds. Midnight is harvest. There is someone who once questioned your path who will soon witness your progress. You do not need to prove anything. Your elevation will speak for itself. Archangel Michael reminds you that humility combined with authority creates unstoppable momentum. Now receive this clearly. The miracle beginning at midnight is irreversible. Even if it starts subtly, it carries long-term impact. What changes on April 14 sets the tone for the next season of your life. This is not a temporary emotional high. This is structural transformation. Prepare your heart tonight. Release resentment. Clear mental clutter. Speak gratitude aloud, even before you see visible evidence. Gratitude opens doors faster than anxiety ever could. Archangel Michael stands ready, not just as a warrior, but as a witness to your transition. If this message resonates with your spirit, participate in this moment of agreement. Type "I receive my midnight miracle" in the comments if this speaks to you. Lesson code 414 is now activated over your life. And as this sacred transition unfolds, understand that spreading messages like this allows more souls to awaken before their own midnight arrives. When you give through Super Thanks, join the membership, or sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are not funding a platform. You are fueling a mission. You are helping light reach someone who is sitting in darkness, waiting for confirmation. Scripture says that when you sow generously, you reap generously, and this is not distant poetry. It is God speaking directly into your obedience. When you release a seed, heaven releases increase. When you pour oil, your jar does not run dry. This is your moment to respond as part of the miracle itself. If you feel the stirring in your heart, act on it. Let your support become a prophetic action tied to this midnight shift. As you give, may protection surround your home, may acceleration touch your finances, and may clarity rest upon your decisions. Do not delay obedience. Step forward boldly and seal your agreement with heaven. Steady soul, something has already begun shifting around you, even if you cannot yet explain it. After midnight strikes on April 14th, the change may not arrive like thunder. It may feel more like a current beneath the surface, subtle yet undeniable. Archangel Michael now reveals what happens in the hours and days immediately following that sacred moment. When heaven initiates a miracle, it rarely announces itself with noise. It begins with rearrangement. You may wake up feeling different, as if clarity has quietly replaced confusion. A situation that once felt overwhelming will appear manageable. A person who once held emotional control over you will no longer intimidate your thoughts. This is not imagination. This is spiritual authority restoring balance. Archangel Michael stands at the threshold of your new season, ensuring that what enters is aligned and what exits does so without chaos. There has been a spiritual tug-of-war around your progress, but at midnight, the verdict was sealed. The opposition lost its legal ground. What lingered out of habit must now leave out of obedience. You may notice conversations shifting tone. Someone who was distant may suddenly reach out. Someone who seems supportive may reveal insecurity. Do not react emotionally. Observe. This is the exposure layer continuing to unfold. The life-changing event may involve information that corrects your direction. When truth rises, it does not always flatter, but it always frees. There is also movement in your professional or financial world. Archangel Michael indicates that an opportunity that seemed blocked will begin to soften. This could come as an unexpected idea, a recommendation, a message, or a sudden realization about what step to take next. A miracle beginning at midnight is not limited to one area of life. It is holistic. When God moves, He moves with precision across multiple dimensions. However, you must guard your mindset carefully. Right after breakthrough, doubt often attempts one final whisper. You may hear thoughts like, "What if nothing changes?" Or "What if this is just emotion?" Recognize those thoughts for what they are: echoes of expired limitation. They no longer carry authority. Archangel Michael says your responsibility now is alignment. Speak differently. Think differently. Act differently. You cannot enter a new season with old language. If your miracle begins at midnight, your agreement must begin immediately. The big expectation. Speak peace over your home. Speak confidence over your future. There is also restoration quietly forming. A relationship that fractured may begin healing, but only if truth leads the process. If reconciliation is meant for you, it will come with clarity, not confusion. Archangel Michael guards your emotional boundaries during this time. You are not stepping back into cycles. You are stepping into refinement. Something powerful is happening within your home atmosphere. Even the physical space may feel lighter. You might feel inspired to rearrange your room, clean deeply, or remove items that carry old memories. This impulse is symbolic. You are making room for the new chapter. When the spiritual shifts, the physical often follows. Be attentive to timing. Within days of April 14th, you may receive confirmation that solidifies everything you sensed at midnight. It could be small but meaningful. a statement from someone, a financial adjustment, a decision finalized. Do not overlook subtle confirmations. Miracles often grow quietly before they become obvious. Archangel Michael emphasizes that protection surrounds this process. Not everyone will understand your shift. Some may question your sudden confidence. Others may attempt to test your boundaries. Stand firm without aggression. Authority does not shout. It stands. You are also being invited to strengthen your spiritual discipline. Midnight was activation. Now comes cultivation. Express gratitude daily. Remove distractions that drain your clarity. The miracle has begun, but your consistency determines how fully it manifests. Remember that life-changing events are not always single explosions. Sometimes they are sequences. A revelation leads to a decision. A decision leads to a door. A door leads to expansion. You are in the early stages of a sequence that was written long before you recognized it. Archangel Michael shows a symbolic image of a bridge extending forward. You have crossed from uncertainty into authorized favor, but the bridge continues ahead. Each step will feel steadier than the last. Do not rush. Do not compare. This is your timeline, not someone else's. If impatience tries to creep in, breathe and recall what was declared. A miracle began at midnight. Seeds planted at midnight grow in appointed time. Trust the process. Trust the covering over your life. You are not walking alone in this transition. Protection surrounds you. Guidance precedes you. Peace follows you. And the life-changing event that started as a spiritual click will soon reveal its full impact in the physical realm. Prepare yourself, because what unfolds next will show you how to sustain and multiply what heaven has initiated. Determined spirit. The days following April 14th are not ordinary days. They are adjustment days. When a miracle begins at midnight, your reality does not instantly transform in appearance, but it begins transforming in structure. Archangel Michael now speaks about stabilization, because what heaven starts must be sustained with wisdom. You may have already sensed subtle confirmation that something shifted. Perhaps your thoughts feel clearer. Perhaps a weight you carried quietly feels lighter. Perhaps a situation that once strained you no longer holds the same power. These are not small changes. These are indicators that spiritual authority has been restored in areas that once felt unstable. Archangel Michael reveals that after activation comes alignment. Activation happened at midnight. Alignment happens through your choices. You will be presented with moments that test whether you truly believe the shift occurred. A familiar trigger may attempt to provoke you. An old habit may try to pull you back. A familiar voice may question your progress. This is not punishment. This is refinement. If you respond differently than before, you confirm the miracle. There is also an increase in discernment taking place. You are beginning to read situations more accurately. Words that once sounded convincing now feel transparent. Promises that once impressed you now feel shallow. This sharpened awareness is part of the life-changing event. Archangel Michael stands as your guardian, helping you separate appearance from authenticity. Financially and professionally, movement continues beneath the surface. Something that looked delayed may subtly gain traction. You may receive insight about a direction you had overlooked. The key now is courage. Midnight initiated the shift, but courage moves you forward. Do not shrink when opportunity presents itself. You prayed for change. Do not fear it when it arrives. There is also a quiet emotional restoration happening within your heart. Old disappointments are losing their sting. You may find yourself forgiving someone without needing their apology. That release is strength, not weakness. When you forgive internally, you reclaim energy that was tied to resentment. Archangel Michael confirms that emotional freedom is part of your miracle package. In your home environment, you may notice subtle harmony emerging. Conversations may feel more grounded. Even silence may feel peaceful rather than tense. This is not accidental. Spiritual atmosphere influences physical experience. When authority shifts in the unseen realm, the seen realm adjusts accordingly. However, there is a warning wrapped in encouragement. Do not announce everything too quickly. Protect what is growing. Not everyone needs full access to your transition. Archangel Michael emphasizes strategic silence. Let results speak over time. Your miracle does not require constant explanation. You may also feel a renewed sense of responsibility. When clarity increases, accountability follows. You can no longer pretend you do not see what you see. You can no longer tolerate what you once excused. This is maturity. This is growth. This is elevation. There is someone observing you quietly, perhaps even doubting your transformation. Do not perform for them. Stay authentic. The consistency of your peace will speak louder than arguments ever could. Archangel Michael assures you that validation from others is not required for confirmation from heaven. As this sequence unfolds, pay attention to timing patterns. Things may begin happening in clusters. A conversation followed by a decision. A realization followed by an opportunity. The closure followed by an opening. This rhythm indicates that your timeline has accelerated. A one-step months may now take days. Guard your gratitude carefully. Gratitude sustains miracles. When you acknowledge progress, you invite more. When you recognize protection, you strengthen it. Speak appreciation aloud for even small signs of advancement. Archangel Michael honors humility paired with expectation. Your energy is shifting as well. You may feel more focused, more grounded, more aware. This internal steadiness is preparation for greater responsibility. The life-changing event is not only about what you receive. It is about who you become while receiving it. If moments of doubt try to surface, remember midnight. Remember the declaration. Remember that congratulations were spoken before you saw evidence. Faith operates ahead of sight. Continue walking accordingly. You are building a new pattern now. A pattern of discernment. A pattern of courage. A pattern of spiritual authority within your own space. What began as a prophetic announcement is becoming lived reality. Archangel Michael stands watchfully, not because danger surrounds you, but because destiny does. Protection increases where purpose expands. Trust the covering over your life. Trust the wisdom developing within you. What you are experiencing is not temporary motivation. It is structural upbringing. And as this foundation solidifies, the next revelation will show you how influence begins expanding beyond your immediate environment. Stay steady. The miracle is not fading. It is maturing. Focused one. What you are experiencing now is expansion. The midnight shift was the spark, but what follows is influence stretching beyond the borders you once accepted. Archangel Michael speaks with intensity in this moment because your miracle is no longer confined to your internal world. It is beginning to affect your external connections, opportunities, and visibility. There is a reason you have felt a growing confidence rising within you. It is not pride. It is alignment. When confusion leaves, confidence enters naturally. You are starting to trust your own discernment again. Decisions that once required endless validation now feel clear. This is evidence that the life-changing event has moved from initiation into manifestation. Archangel Michael reveals that your voice is gaining weight. When you speak now, people listen differently. When you set boundaries, they are respected more than before. This is spiritual authority translating into physical presence. You are no longer negotiating with environments that drain you. You are choosing environments that elevate you. At the same time, expect soul tests. Expansion always attracts evaluation. Someone may question your new direction. Someone may attempt to remind you of your past limitations. Do not argue. Your consistency will silence doubt more effectively than explanation ever could. Remember, midnight marked the end of old cycles. Do not resurrect what heaven has closed. Financially, momentum is building. You may sense ideas flowing more easily. You may feel drawn toward an opportunity you once hesitated to pursue. Archangel Michael confirms that doors are not only opening, they are stabilizing. The key now is action. Miracles begin spiritually, but they require movement physically. If you feel prompted to apply, to call, to organize, to initiate, respond promptly. There is also an increase in spiritual sensitivity. You may feel more aware of energy shifts in rooms, more aware of honesty or dishonesty in conversations. This heightened awareness is not meant to isolate you. It is meant to guide you. Discernment is protection operating quietly. Your home environment continues to reflect the change. Tension that once felt constant now appears occasional. Even challenges seem more manageable. Archangel Michael stands as guardian over your household atmosphere, ensuring that peace becomes the dominant tone rather than chaos. Emotionally, you are becoming less reactive. Situations that once triggered frustration now invite reflection. This is maturity unfolding. The miracle was not only about changing circumstances, it was about strengthening your character. You are responding instead of reacting. You are choosing calm instead of conflict. There is someone observing your transformation with curiosity. They may not say it directly, but they notice your steadiness. In time, they may even seek your advice. Do not be surprised when the very people who doubted you begin asking how you found your clarity. Influence grows quietly before it becomes visible. As this message continues to reach you, take a moment to actively align with it. Like this video as a declaration that you are in agreement with what heaven is building in your life. Share it with someone who needs confirmation that their midnight was not in vain. Comment your experience because testimony strengthens faith. Subscribe to this channel so you remain connected to ongoing spiritual insight. And if you feel led, join the membership to stand in deeper alignment with this prophetic journey. What you engage with consistently shapes your spiritual atmosphere. Now understand this carefully. Expansion requires discipline. You cannot carry new favor with old habits. Protect your time. Protect your focus. Limit conversations that drain your energy. The miracle that began at midnight deserves structure. Structure preserves momentum. Archangel Michael shows an image of a flame growing brighter. It does not flicker wildly. It burns steadily. That steadiness represents your next season. You are not chasing excitement. You are cultivating endurance. What you build now will not collapse easily because it is rooted in clarity. There may also be a reconciliation opportunity approaching. If it comes, approach it with wisdom. Not every reopened door is meant to remain open. Some conversations are for closure, not continuation. Trust your discernment. The shift at midnight upgraded your perception for a reason. In the coming days, watch for acceleration in communication. Messages may arrive unexpectedly. Invitations may appear suddenly. Opportunities may connect in ways you did not predict. Do not hesitate out of old fear. Courage must accompany miracle. And before you drift away from this moment, remember something vital. The sequence unfolding right now becomes even clearer as the next revelation builds on what you have just received. There is a deeper layer to this prophecy that ties directly to your long-term destiny. What comes next will connect the midnight shift to a future you have only imagined. Awakened one, the deeper layer of this prophecy now unfolds, and it reaches further than a single date on the calendar. April 14th was not only about a midnight shift, it was about repositioning your entire trajectory. Archangel Michael steps forward again, not with urgency this time, but with assurance. What has begun is not fragile. It is fortified. You may have started noticing that your long-term vision feels clear. Goals that once seemed distant now appear achievable. Plans that felt uncertain now feel structured. This is not imagination gaining confidence. This is destiny becoming visible. When the life-changing event activated at midnight, it recalibrated more than your present moment. It adjusted your direction. There is a pattern breaking in your lineage. Something that limited those before you will not limit you. Archangel Michael reveals that cycles of delay, fear, or instability have been interrupted. You may not fully understand the generational weight that was lifted, but you will experience its absence. You will move with less resistance than those who came before you. The shift carries responsibility. You are not only stepping into blessing, you are stepping into leadership within your sphere. People around you may begin to mirror your steadiness. Your discipline may inspire someone quietly. Your boundaries may teach others self-respect. Influence is expanding, and it does not require a stage to be effective. There is also a strategic separation taking place. Certain connections will gradually fade, not through conflict, but through misalignment. Conversations will become less frequent. Interests will no longer overlap. Do not chase what naturally withdraws. Archangel Michael is refining your circle. At the same time, new connections are approaching. These individuals will recognize your value without needing persuasion. Interactions will feel mutual rather than forced. Collaboration will feel energizing rather than exhausting. This is part of the life-changing sequence unfolding from that midnight moment. Professionally, a significant opportunity may surface in stages, first as an idea, then as a conversation, then as a concrete option. Do not dismiss early signs because they seem small. Seeds often appear insignificant before they become visible growth. Archangel Michael emphasizes patience paired with readiness. When confirmation arrives, you must be prepared to act decisively. Emotionally, you are becoming anchored. Situations that once shook your stability now pass without uprooting you. This emotional resilience is evidence of internal upgrade. A miracle did not simply change circumstances, it strengthened your foundation. You are less reactive, more reflective, and far more aware. Your home continues to transform as well. There may be an urge to improve, renovate, rearrange, or even consider relocation in the future. These thoughts are not random. They are reflections of expansion. When your internal world grows, your external environment often follows. Archangel Michael also reveals that a hidden talent or dormant gift may resurface. Something you once set aside could return with new relevance. Pay attention to recurring ideas or interests. What you dismissed in the past may become instrumental in your future. The midnight activation unlocks creative flow as well as practical opportunity. There may be moments where you question whether this progress will last. A doubt is simply habit trying to protect you from disappointment. But this time is different. The structure is stronger. The clarity is deeper. The authority is established. What has been built spiritually carries endurance. Someone from your past may attempt to reconnect unexpectedly. Approach with calm discernment. Not every return is restoration. Some returns are reminders of how far you have come. Archangel Michael guards your judgment in these moments. You do not need to rush decisions. Stability allows patience. The coming weeks will reveal a pattern of confirmation. One positive shift followed by another. One resolved issue followed by another opening. It may not be dramatic daily, but it will be consistent. Consistency is the sign that this miracle is structural rather than temporary. You are also being prepared for visibility. Not necessarily fame, but recognition. Your reliability will be noticed. Your insight will be valued. Your integrity will be acknowledged. This recognition will not inflate you because it will feel earned, not accidental. As destiny continues unfolding, remember that midnight was only the beginning. What you are stepping into stretches beyond immediate relief. It extends into legacy. Archangel Michael stands as guardian not just of your present peace, but of your future impact. Hold steady. The bridge ahead is stable. The path is illuminated step by step. What unfolds next will deepen this revelation even further, tying your personal transformation to a broader spiritual assignment that is now awakening. Anointed One, what is unfolding now reaches beyond personal breakthrough and steps into divine assignment. April 14th was the ignition point, but what follows is commissioning. Archangel Michael now speaks not only as protector, but as witness to your promotion. The miracle that began at midnight was never meant to stop at your comfort. It was designed to awaken your calling. You may have sensed it already. A subtle pull toward something greater. A growing awareness that your life carries weight beyond routine survival. This is not ambition. It is activation. When clarity entered your home and peace replaced pressure, space was created for purpose to surface. Archangel Michael reveals that you are entering a season of responsibility that feels different from anything before. You are no longer navigating blindly. You are moving with intention. The confusion that once blurred your direction has dissolved it, and in its place stands conviction. You know more than you realize. There is an assignment connected to your voice. Whether you speak publicly or influence privately, your words now carry impact. Conversations you initiate may shift someone's mindset. Encouragement you offer may prevent someone from giving up. Advice you share may redirect a decision. Do not underestimate small interactions. Influence rarely announces itself loudly. The midnight miracle also recalibrated your spiritual authority. You are more discerning, more grounded, less easily swayed. That stability positions you to guide others who are still in turbulence. Archangel Michael stands beside you not to elevate your ego, but to strengthen your humility. True authority serves without boasting. There is also a widening of opportunity ahead. Doors may open that place you in rooms you once felt unqualified to enter. Do not shrink when invited. You were prepared in private for visibility in public. The endurance you demonstrated during your quiet season built capacity. Now capacity meets opportunity. Expect resistance as well. Not aggressive opposition, but subtle skepticism. Some may question your confidence. Others may test your boundaries. Stay composed. You do not need to defend what heaven has established. Consistency will answer every doubt. Within your home, peace continues to deepen. The atmosphere feels anchored rather than fragile. Decisions are made with clarity instead of panic. Even challenges are approached strategically rather than emotionally. This transformation is evidence that the life-changing event was structural, not superficial. There is also restoration in relationships that are aligned with your growth. Support will appear where it once felt absent. Encouragement will flow more naturally. You may even discover that certain people were watching your journey silently, waiting to see if your change was permanent. Now they see stability, and they respond accordingly. Financially, momentum continues building. A delayed reward may surface. An overlooked opportunity may resurface. An idea you dismissed may now seem practical. Archangel Michael emphasizes readiness. Keep your plans organized. Keep your focus sharp. When increase arrives, you must steward it wisely. You are also being trained in patience at a higher level. Not passive waiting, but disciplined timing. Just because you can act does not mean you should act immediately. Discernment now guides your pace. This is maturity in motion. If this message has carried you through these revelations, understand that you are not here by accident. You were drawn here because your spirit recognized confirmation. Type "I walk in my assignment" in the comments if this resonates deeply with you. Blessing code 814 is now activated over your path. And as this assignment unfolds, remember that messages like this do not spread by chance. I move because someone chooses to sow into the mission. When you release a super thanks, join the membership, or give through the PayPal link in the description, you are planting seeds into soil that produces awakening. You are not supporting a channel. You are fueling a river of light that reaches souls standing at their own midnight. The word declares that when you sow in faith, you reap in abundance. This is not distant scripture. It is a living promise spoken over your obedience. As you give, heaven multiplies. As you pour oil, your jar overflows. This is your moment to respond not casually, but prophetically. If your spirit feels stirred, act now. Let your support become a declaration that you stand with this mission. May your seed return as protection over your home, clarity in your decisions, and acceleration in your opportunities. Do not hesitate. Step forward boldly and seal your agreement with heaven. Steadfast one. The unfolding of this prophecy is no longer just about activation or assignment. It is about endurance and expansion. When heaven entrusts you with clarity, influence, and opportunity, it also invites you into stewardship. Archangel Michael now speaks with measured strength, because what you carry must be guarded with wisdom. Since April 14th, subtle confirmations have likely continued appearing. Perhaps conversations align more smoothly. Perhaps decisions feel less complicated. Perhaps your emotional responses have grown more balanced. These are not random improvements. They are evidence that the midnight shift recalibrated your internal compass. But understand this carefully. Growth attracts observation. Not everyone who notices your progress celebrates it. Some observe silently, unsure how to interpret your steadiness. Others may attempt to test whether your transformation is temporary. This is where discipline becomes protection. Archangel Michael emphasizes consistency. The miracle began at midnight, but its sustainability depends on your daily posture. Continue speaking with clarity. Continue setting boundaries without hostility. Continue choosing environments that respect your growth. Do not relax into old patterns simply because things feel better now. There is also a new level of opportunity approaching that will require discernment. Something attractive may present itself, but not everything impressive is aligned. Because your authority has increased, so has your responsibility to choose wisely. Take your time. Seek peace before committing. If something pressures you urgently, pause. Alignment does not rush recklessly. Financial expansion may begin showing tangible signs now. An increase, a repayment, a profitable idea, or a new client could surface. When it does, remember stewardship. Use wisdom. Plan carefully. The life-changing event was not designed for impulsive celebration but for strategic building. Your emotional resilience continues strengthening. You may notice that situations that once disrupted your sleep no longer disturb your peace. This internal calm is sacred. Guard it fiercely. Limit exposure to negativity. Reduce conversations that drain your energy. Protect your mental space as you would protect your home. Speaking of your home, the atmosphere there is becoming a reflection of your inner order. Harmony feels more natural. Even if challenges arise, they no longer dominate the tone of your space. Archangel Michael stands as guardian over this stability. What once felt chaotic now feels manageable. There may also be a moment of recognition approaching. Someone in authority or influence may acknowledge your consistency. This recognition will not feel dramatic, but it will feel affirming. It is a reminder that your efforts have not gone unseen. Do not let pride distort it. Accept affirmation with gratitude and humility. At the same time, there may be a subtle invitation to step outside your comfort zone. A responsibility slightly larger than what you are used to. A role that stretches your confidence. Remember, capacity has already increased within you. The midnight shift strengthened your foundation for moments like this. Archangel Michael reveals that a deeper layer of purpose is emerging. You are not only stabilizing your own life, you are becoming a point of reference for others. People may begin seeking your perspective more frequently. They sense your groundedness. They recognize your clarity. Influence expands quietly before it becomes obvious. Do not underestimate the importance of routine now. Discipline in small things protects larger blessings. Wake with intention. Speak with purpose. Rest with gratitude. Consistency transforms moments into legacy. There may be days when momentum feels slower. Do not misinterpret this as regression. Seasons of consolidation are necessary. What has grown must strengthen its roots. Trust the pace. The acceleration you experience does not disappear. It stabilizes. If doubt whispers again, revisit midnight in your memory. Recall the declarations spoken over your life. Recall the shift you felt. That was not illusion. It was inhibition. The life-changing event continues unfolding, even when progress feels subtle. Someone from your past may resurface again, observing your steadiness. Respond with calm confidence. You owe no explanations for your growth. Let your peace communicate what words cannot. As the sequence advances, you are being prepared for a revelation that ties everything together. The miracle was personal. The assignment was purposeful. Now comes legacy. What unfolds next will show you how this transformation impacts not only your present season, but the imprint you leave behind. Remain attentive. Remain disciplined. Remain grateful. The path ahead is widening, and what approaches carries weight beyond what you once imagined possible. Committed one, what you are stepping into now is legacy alignment. The miracle that began at midnight was never only about relief, clarity, or even opportunity. It was about positioning you for long-term impact. Archangel Michael speaks with unwavering certainty in this hour because the structure forming around your life is becoming generational. Since April 14th, patterns have shifted. Decisions feel intentional. Relationships feel filtered. Opportunities feel purposeful. This is not temporary momentum. This is strategic redirection. You are no longer wandering between options. You are walking within design. Archangel Michael reveals that your next level requires vision beyond immediate comfort. You are being invited to think years ahead, not just weeks ahead. Choices you make now will echo longer than you expect. The midnight shift recalibrated your instincts so you can build wisely rather than impulsively. There may be an invitation approaching that carries both excitement and responsibility. It could be a promotion, a partnership, relocation idea, or a creative venture. It will stretch you slightly beyond your familiar routine. Do not shrink from it. Stretching is confirmation that growth is active. At the same time, protect your inner discipline. Legacy is not built on bursts of motivation. It is built on consistent alignment. Wake up with clarity. Maintain focus during distraction. Choose peace during provocation. These daily habits guard the miracle that began at midnight. There is also a financial strategy unfolding. You may feel prompted to save differently, invest differently, or restructure your priorities. Follow that intuition. Archangel Michael indicates that wisdom will protect what increase provides. Prosperity without structure fades. Prosperity with discipline multiplies. Emotionally, you are standing on stronger ground. Situations that once tempted you into reaction now invite measured response. This maturity is part of your promotion. You cannot carry expanded influence with unstable emotions. The midnight activation fortified your character for a reason. Within your home, leadership is becoming more evident. Others may look to you for direction, even if they do not say it aloud. Your steadiness sets the tone. Your calm establishes atmosphere. This is quiet authority, and it is powerful. There may also be moments where fatigue whispers that growth is exhausting. Do not confuse responsibility with burden. Responsibility signals trust. Heaven does not expand territory where capacity is absent. If expansion has reached you, capacity was recognized first. As you continue listening, take a moment to anchor your agreement with what is unfolding. Like this message as a declaration that you accept the legacy forming in your life. Share it with someone who needs assurance that their breakthrough was not temporary. Comment your expectation below, because spoken faith reinforces direction. Subscribe to this channel to remain aligned with ongoing prophetic insight. And if your spirit confirms it, join the membership so you stay connected to this unfolding journey with consistency and depth. Engagement strengthens alignment. Now listen carefully. A decision will soon present itself that tests your long-term vision. It may involve choosing stability over excitement, or integrity over quick gain. Choose with legacy in mind. The midnight miracle was never about short-lived satisfaction. It was about sustainable elevation. Archangel Michael shows an image of a foundation extending deeper into the ground. What you build now is meant to withstand seasons of pressure. That means patience. That means discipline. That means resisting shortcuts. Quick success fades quickly. Structured growth endures. There may be someone watching your progress who once doubted your endurance. Their perspective will begin shifting as they observe consistency. Let time speak. You do not need to convince anyone. Steadiness convinces naturally. You are also being prepared to mentor, guide, or influence someone who stands where you once stood. Your testimony will carry credibility because it is lived, not theoretical. This is legacy in motion. As the days continue unfolding, expect clarity to sharpen even further. Plans will feel organized. Goals will feel achievable. Confidence will feel grounded rather than forced. The miracle that began at midnight is stabilizing into long-term structure. And understand this deeply. What is about to be revealed next connects your personal legacy to a broader spiritual ripple effect. The transformation in your life is not isolated. It carries impact that extends further than you currently see. Hold your focus steady, because the final revelation will bring everything into full alignment. Enduring one, you have now reached a point where everything begins to connect. The midnight miracle with the spark. The assignment was the direction. The legacy is the structure. But now Archangel Michael reveals the ripple effect. What has changed in you is beginning to change what surrounds you in ways you cannot fully measure yet. Since April 14th, you have felt a steady undercurrent of confidence and clarity. Even when challenges appear, they do not dismantle you. That is because your foundation has been reinforced. The life-changing event was not just about opportunity, it was about identity. You no longer see yourself as someone waiting for breakthrough. You see yourself as someone entrusted with responsibility. This shift in identity is powerful. When identity changes, behavior follows naturally. You do not have to force discipline. It feels appropriate. You do not have to chase validation. You feel secure. You do not have to prove growth. You embody it. Archangel Michael confirms that this internal transformation is the true evidence of the midnight activation. Here is something else unfolding quietly. Your presence now influences atmospheres. When you enter a room, your steadiness subtly impacts conversations. When tension rises, your calm diffuses it. When confusion spreads, your clarity redirects it. This is spiritual authority translating into daily life. You may not always notice the ripple, but others do. Someone may feel encouraged simply because you remained composed. Someone may find courage because you shared a measured perspective. Influence often travels invisibly before it becomes acknowledged. At the same time, do not ignore the need for rest. Expansion requires balance. Archangel Michael emphasizes restoration alongside responsibility. Make space for reflection. Make space for gratitude. Make space for stillness. Strength is sustained through renewal. There may also be a final piece of closure approaching. A conversation that settles lingering uncertainty. An answer that resolves a question you carried quietly. When it arrives, accept it with peace. Not every answer comes with emotion. Some arrive with quiet confirmation that it is time to move forward fully. Financially and professionally, the path ahead feels clearer than ever. You are no longer reacting to survival. You are planning for sustainability. This is maturity anchored in wisdom. Continue building slowly and intentionally. Avoid distractions that promise quick reward without stable foundation. Someone from your past may observe your growth and attempt to re-enter your life. Evaluate carefully. Not every return is aligned with your legacy. Archangel Michael guards your discernment in these moments. If something disrupts your peace, it does not belong in your next chapter. Your home environment reflects your internal order now. Even if imperfections remain, the atmosphere feels guided rather than chaotic. You have stepped into leadership within your own space. Decisions carry thought. Words carry intention. Peace carries authority. There may be moments where you reflect on how different you feel compared to months ago. That awareness is healthy. It reminds you that growth is real. The miracle that began at midnight was not a fleeting emotional experience. It was a recalibration of direction. As this revelation unfolds, you may sense anticipation building. That anticipation is not anxiety. It is expectation. Archangel Michael reveals that what comes next ties everything together. The ripple effect of your transformation will soon present visible evidence. You are standing at the edge of confirmation. Not dramatic spectacle, but tangible reinforcement. Something will happen that quietly affirms, this is why midnight mattered. It may be a breakthrough conversation. It may be a financial stabilization. It may be recognition of your leadership. When it arrives, you will know. Continue guarding your mindset. Continue protecting your peace. Continue choosing discipline over distraction. The structure forming around your life is durable. You were congratulated at the beginning because heaven saw what you were stepping into before you did. Now you are beginning to see it for yourself. Remain attentive, because the final unfolding will not only affirm what has happened, it will seal it. What comes next is not merely continuation. It is confirmation that your miracle has matured into destiny. Victorious one. This is the sealing moment. Everything that began at midnight on April 14th now stands complete in understanding. Of what once a whisper hath become revue. What was once hope has become evidence. Archangel Michael stands not in warning now, but in affirmation. A miracle has matured. When you first heard that your miracle would begin at midnight, it may have felt mysterious, even distant. But look at what has unfolded. Your clarity sharpened. Your environment shifted. Your confidence stabilized. Your discernment strengthened. Opportunities aligned. Emotional weight lifted. This was not coincidence. It was orchestration. The life-changing event was not a single explosion. It was a divine recalibration. It adjusted how you think, how you choose, how you respond, and how you lead. That is why it could not be reversed. It was built into your structure. Archangel Michael reveals that what you now carry is spiritual authority anchored in humility. You are not who you were before April 14th. You do not tolerate what you once tolerated. You do not fear what you once feared. You do not chase what you once chased. That is transformation. There will be a visible confirmation soon that seals this entire journey. Something external will match what has already shifted internally. It may be approval you have waited for. It may be stability you prayed over. It may be recognition that affirms your endurance. When it arrives, you will feel peace rather than surprise, because your spirit was prepared in advance. This is the final layer of the prophecy. Permanence. The midnight shift was not temporary emotion. It was permanent repositioning. You have crossed into a season that cannot be undone by old habits or outside skepticism. The foundation is too strong now. Archangel Michael shows a symbolic image of a door closing gently behind you. Not slammed, not forced, simply closed. The door represents the version of you that lived in uncertainty. Ahead of you is open space, structured and stable. There may still be challenges in life, but they will no longer define you. You will approach them differently, with patience, with strategy, with authority. That is the miracle in motion. You were told congratulations at the beginning because heaven was celebrating who you were becoming. Now you can see it clearly. The ripple effect of your transformation has touched your home, your decisions, your confidence, and soon it will touch others in ways you may never fully measure. Hold on to gratitude. Gratitude protects permanence. Gratitude strengthens legacy. Speak thanks even before every detail manifests fully. You are walking inside answered prayer. If this entire journey has resonated with your spirit from the very beginning until now, seal it with agreement. Type "My Midnight Miracle is sealed" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 1212 is now activated over your destiny. And now, understand this sacred truth. Just as your midnight shift changed your life, there are countless others standing at the edge of their own breakthrough, waiting for confirmation. When you sow into this mission through Super Thanks, by joining the membership, or by giving through the PayPal link in the description, you are not supporting a video. You are opening doors for souls who are desperate for light. The Word declares that when you give, it is given back to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is not symbolic language. It is a living promise spoken over obedience. When you release a seed, heaven releases increase. When you pour into the river flows back to you. If you feel the stirring in your heart right now, that is your moment. Do not hesitate. Act in faith. Let your giving become a prophetic declaration that you stand with this mission to awaken destinies. As you sow, may protection cover your household, may wisdom guide your decisions, and may abundance meet you in unexpected ways. Step forward boldly. Seal your obedience. Activate your harvest.